Good morning, Beach Salida. We're glad to see you. Mabuhay.
Okay, please sit down now. Earlier, we had already checked the attendance by head count. So, I guess it's now time for us to prepare the introductions and proceed right away to what we have agreed last meeting, which was yesterday. Okay? So, our topic for the first lesson is all about discovering personal challenges. Okay? And one thing that we need to know about facing or confronting these personal challenges is, of course, to know our strengths and our weaknesses that make us a person. Okay? So by now, we have this issue confronting teenagers like you. And it's a recent issue, controversial at that. Okay? Do you know what this issue is? It's about bullying. Okay? But here's the question, which is the subject of this debate. Can a person be his own bully? Can a person be his own bully? May I know your answers? Yes. So here in my left are our speakers, our debaters for the proposing team. Okay, and they strongly stand in the belief that a person can be his own bully. Now, on this side here, we have our speakers. Could you please stand by the way? Here. Okay. Our speakers for the opposing team, which strongly says that a person cannot be his own bully. Okay? By the way, let me ask you that. Thank you. Don't show my hand. I guess it's also just for us to recognize our opposers. Please stand for position. Okay, that's it. Now, alright. I am only going to facilitate, but I'm not the chair of the debate. Instead, we have one representative from you guys. And let us welcome Louis, Miss Louis, for our... We also have with us our volunteers. Volunteers for the timer, courtesy of Mr. Tagabi. And our in charge for the documentation, Sheena. Okay? By the way, let us also be thankful for the presence of our active, dynamic, and very supportive school principal in the person of Miss Maria Luisa Guillermo. And we also have Ma'am Jenny here, over here. Our evaluators and at the same time the judges for this event. Now, are we ready? Are we ready to hear their viewpoints? Their stand on the issue. Can a person be his own bully? Yes. Yes? No. Alright. Miss Chair, it's your time.
Good morning, everyone. Each side of the team is given 150 seconds to stand their side, and let us hear the stand of the affirmative.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this debate. Welcome from this side of the House, the proposition. The motion for today's debate revolves around the question, can a person be his own bully? Now we, as the proposition, strongly believe that a person can be his own bully. But before we come to our actual argumentation, let us first define some important terms in this debate. We believe that bullying is a blustering, quarrelsome, overbearing person who habitually intimidates smaller or weaker people, while self-bullying is a person who thinks and talks negatively about himself. We as today's proposition have structured our case as follows. I, as the first speaker, will be talking about self-bullying. Our second speaker, Ms. Pacquiao, third speaker, Ms. Segovia, fourth speaker, Ms. Tan, and our fifth speaker, Ms. Elizar, will elaborate on the fact that one person can be his own bully. And our last speaker, Mrs. Paliaga, will be sharing her conclusion and generalization. So let me come to my first argument labeled as a person can be his own bully because he insults himself. People often abuse themselves with their inner judgments and self-talk. Their self-belief, beliefs, and rules underact their confidence and self-esteem and prevent them from taking effective actions. According to educators and authors Catherine Lee Levinson and Martin Levinson, is that despite the large number of individuals that do not agree with bullying practices, there are very few that will intervene on behalf of the victim. Bullying witnesses that do not intervene are called the bystanders. The researchers continue, if the bully faces no obstruction from the bystanders, it gives permission to continue behaving badly. Self-bullying is not a new phenomenon. In fact, according to BBC News, a large survey looking into why young people self-harm has revealed that being bullied is the main reason why they first injure themselves. Self-bullies engage in the same emotional attacks as normal bullies. They denigrate, they criticize, they use name-calling, and oh, thank you.
And now let's hear the stand of the negative side.
Okay, so good morning to each and every one of you, especially to the panel of judges. So let me explain my stand. In this epoch in time, we could say that we have stepped on a fresh new revolution with different features, one in which we should all not ignore. Bullying has always been spoken by the majority, one in which we have different kinds: physical, verbal, relational aggression, cyberbullying, sexual bullying, and prejudicial bullying. The characters involved in this manner would be the bully itself and the bully. Now let us look at this stethoscope. The question of this argument is, can a person be his or her own bully? If I am mistaken, maybe we are not the paired participants for the debate. Now, all we can say is that a person cannot be his or her own bully. One thing's for sure is that I said earlier ago, the types of bullying that could happen to any of us, any person. I do remember that I didn't say anything about self-bullying. And by mere facts, I have proven that there is no such obnoxious thing as bullying yourself. Another one that I would bring up would be that you cannot mistook personal challenges as a way of bullying. When we talk about personal challenges, it would simply mean in teen language, our language, that it is a hurdle we should overcome in order to accomplish our certain goals in life. We experience stress in personal challenges. On the other hand, in bullying, we experience pain. We only need to have the will and the courage to accomplish these challenges in order to move on in life. I would not say this as an example of emotional bullying, because let's talk again about bullying and what I said a while ago. The characters involved in this matter would be the bully and the bully itself. When you say that when you have problems in life, you mean that you are bullied? I would rather call that idiocy. And also, a person cannot bully himself. I mean, who would want that? So you mean you would bully yourself for the entertainment of yourself? Understand the irony and you will understand the concept of this matter and also the purpose of our side. Thank you.
Okay, good morning ladies and gentlemen. So in addition to what the first proposer said, self-bullying happens when we have negative thoughts and negative judgments about ourselves. So always remember that in self-bullying, a person is playing two roles. He is the victim and he is the bully. So for you to understand it clearly, let me cite to you an example. So why do we people bully? So we people bully when we experience superiority, or according to the psychologist, we desperately want something that we cannot have, or we envy other people's success and achievements. So in that way, even though you are the bully, you yourself already experience self-bullying by feeling it and you are fed by negative words into your mind and into your ears, of course you would feel a mixture of feelings like, for example, insecurity, self-pity, and others. So what I am trying to impart to you, audience, is that self-bullying could be a cause for a person to bully another person. And in the other way around, or in the same way, it could also be, bullying could also lead to self-bullying. So, my stand here is that self-bullying is an interconnected concept with bullying. So therefore, self-bullying exists and it is a systematic process. It goes back again and again. So therefore, such thing called a self-bullying exists. So therefore, bullying doesn't only mean a person attacking another person, but also a person attacking himself. That's all. Thank you.
And now, let's hear the stand of the second speaker of the negative side.
Good morning, everyone. So, I will reply to that. Other people make the insecure people feel a certain way. Because if you classify being insecure and letting yourself down as a type of bullying or self-bullying to be specific, here's what we have to say. We don't just cry our eyeballs out or plan suicide just because of our own thoughts and self-bullying, as what you say. Because, to be honest, if no one would say negative things about us, would we still feel insecure and feel down about ourselves? Diba no? Right? Yeah. So, think about that. We have already mentioned different types of bullying, and self-bullying is one of them. Based on some of our researches, there's no such thing as self-bullying in the law and as of the act. Thank you.
And now, to the third speaker of the affirmative side, Ms. Segovia.
Good morning, ladies and gents. Self-bullying does exist. We harm ourselves because of our own thoughts. We overthink things. That's why we bully ourselves. That's why we cause ourselves pain. People bully themselves because they feel they are just nothing. They are not capable of anything. They feel unloved and worthless, you know? Bullying does not mean you are attacking someone. You are attacking other person. It also means you are attacking another persona. You are attacking yourself. The bully is you. The victim is yourself. You're. Alright.
I think both sides are ready, and now it's time for the rebuttal. So let's welcome the representative from the affirmative side.
Good morning once again. The last speaker of the opposition side mentioned that self-criticism is different from self-bullying. But our motion doesn't just focus on self-criticism itself, but we are focusing on self-bullying, which involves self-criticism, insecurities, having insecurities in oneself, degrading oneself, which is what I mentioned earlier, and degrading oneself is nearly synonymous to hurting yourself, which is just the same when you bully someone in school or at home. You said that self-bullying is only an absurd illusion, but self-bullying exists everywhere, may it be at home or in school. Self-bullying can never be removed from us. It is like a soul trying to get out of a body or a seed trying to get out of a fruit. Are you saying that bullying involves only involves two or more people inflicting the weaker party?
Yes.
What is bullying for you?
Bullying is composed of the bully and the bully.
Okay.
Sorry, I was wondering.
The question was answered.
If bullying involves two people, then if you bully yourself, you are also the victim and the bully. So, not literally speaking, but you yourself is the one hurting yourself and the one who is hurt. So, it is just the same when you bully someone in school or at home. So there is a fine line between self-bullying and bullying in school. We are not contradicting the thought or idea of bullying, but we are focusing on the fact that self-bullying really does exist everywhere.
Seconds.
Let me ask you, do you sometimes say bad things about yourself?
Yes.
Do you sometimes think of committing suicide when impediments come into your life?
No.
Really? How about you, audience? No. But I've heard some people say those things when they face hardships in life. So they are bullying themselves. And according to our research, people who commit suicide are the ones who overthink
Okay.
more of.
All right.
So, good morning. Good morning. Hello again. Jury and
Hello.
other judges. So, first of all, I would like to ask of you one question. Do you make insecurities a type of self-bullying? A simple question as that. Please answer me clearly.
Do you mean?
Are insecurities self-bullying, as you call it?
It's eating us up.
Yes?
It's eating us up.
Yes, okay, so I will take that as a yes. But, and also, the speaker, Yang, said that bullying exists everywhere. But I would not call that everywhere because when I searched in the internet last night, I didn't find out about bullying. I thought that you won't call that everywhere. I didn't even find that on the internet. So you targeted us about what we said about absurd illusion, that self-bullying is an absurd illusion. But you said that it is not true because it exists everywhere. I couldn't find it in the internet. I don't know why. They said that I think I heard. I didn't say I think, but I really heard. I really heard that Yang said that you can be the victim and the bully yourself. You mean when you are bullying, you are punching yourself? Excuse me. When you say no, you're not punching yourself. I won't call it. What do you mean? Self-degradation. But bullying is in a form of violence. When I said physical, verbal, relational aggression, cyberbullying, sexual bullying, prejudicial bullying, I said these are composed of the bully and the bullied itself. The thing is, when you say self-bullying, when you say the bully is entertained by bullying. That is the purpose of this. So when you say that you are the victim and the bully, and what I said earlier, my first defense. So you mean that you would bully yourself for the entertainment of yourself? Understand the irony, and you will understand the concept of this matter. So you said you can be the victim and the bully yourself. What will we get from that? And also, I will ask a question. So you said that self-degradation, insecurities, and personal problems are a form of self-bullying. Yes or no? Yes. But what we said here in the facts that personal challenge, is what they said before.
So let's have now 1 minute for your last stand. Okay? 1 minute again, break for last stand. Okay? So far, guys, how do you find this activity? Interesting. And would you like someday to be there, to be seated on that chair? No? Why not? Let me ask some of you, while they are still busy, let me ask you, who do you think speaks the best arguments for today's event? Yes. Who do you think is the best speaker for today? Yes, you have it.
I agree to the opposing team. Because according to the opposing team, you cannot consider insecurities or personal challenges as self-bullying. We all have insecurities and that's normal. And stated by Ms. Lizarda that there is no such thing reported on even in the internet or stated in the law as self-bullying. And according to the fourth speaker, Mr. Zuriel, he cannot be a bully and a victim. And stated that the definition of bullying is that you can only bully another person. And as what Ms. Rindon said, self-criticism is not a way of bullying. You are only judging yourself, and that should encourage you to be a person that you want to be. And I truly agree that harming and causing violence to yourself is a form of bullying, and insecurities or self-degradation is not self-bullying.
Alright, thank you for that. Lengthy explanation, but let me just point out some of the points that you have mentioned. Criticizing, judging yourself, are not really forms of bullying. Okay? So, who agrees to that kind of way of thinking, to that way of thinking? Who agrees? You do like that? Okay. Do you also, are you also trying to say that for you to believe onto a particular concept, you need to have basis, you need to have legal basis at that, because you mentioned laws, right? You need to have legal basis so that you will have this reference if ever you're going to call this particular concept as such. Okay? So what about emotions, as they are trying to point out earlier? Don't you regard your emotions as something important? Yes, you have something to say about that. They are not proud of who they are.
Because when you are insecure, you are feel like I'm nothing. Like I am not worth of this kind of world. So you have to be proud of who you are. You have to love yourself.
Okay? So are you trying to say that this team deserves to win? Alright? Okay? Yes. How about those who are supporting this team? Do we have supporters for this team? Why do you think? Okay? Didn't they present some cases, some examples that self-bullying does exist? Yes, Langa.
I agree to the affirmative side since they clearly stated that the self-bullying will exist. They cited examples and really long speeches that made me convince them.
Made you convinced?
Yes. They cited rhetorical questions that the negative side answered, which made their point a little more clear that bullying does exist.
Okay.
And the thing that you yourself is the one hurting yourself and also being hurt, quoted by Yang. But the negative side took it literally, so it's like I'm not that.
I'm pretty sure that you're more convinced of their argument.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And let me just reiterate what they have mentioned earlier. Okay, bullying is not necessarily involving two people.
Yes.
Because a person would also consider his different persona, okay? And the moment he thinks bad about that particular persona, he has already committed bullying. That's your point, right? Do you agree? Who among you here has experienced that? Who among you here has experienced that? Feeling bad about yourself, or trying to think? You even mentioned suicide, right? Okay. If I may share, I actually reached that point, okay, for 3 times. And when we talk about bullying, that should be repetitive. It should be habitual. And don't you consider 3 times as already, habitual? Okay? But we have to remember what are the reasons. What are the reasons why we feel bad? Why we feel that way? Okay? So how about this group? Who do you think deserves to win? Yes, Nanga? Okay.
I agree with the opposing team because, as they have said earlier, it depends on the people that surrounds them. It depends on the people that surrounds that person. If they are pessimistic, then they could influence that person to feel down and start questioning about himself. But if they are optimistic, then there's no way for that person to bully or to question himself.
Alright, thank you. Who else has a point? Okay, Nanga.
I agree with the affirmative side.
Affirmative, okay. It seems like we also have debates over here and over there. Debates, how many debates?
Because self-bullying because we harm ourselves with our own thoughts.
Alright.
We all know that our own thoughts are powerful. That's why we get easily down of the words that or the insults we said to ourselves. So that's why we
Alright, thank you. And if I may point out, alright, yes, you have something to add, Nanga?
I also agree with the negative side.
Okay, so affirmative, negative, affirmative, alright, this time negative.
Because according to the second negative speaker, Angela, Lizarta, self-bullying would not exist if no one would say anything bad about us. We wouldn't feel insecure or confused. So, self-criticism is a mere self-criticism, which is different from bullying. So, bullying, according to Boyle, is using violence.
Alright, thank you. Now, if I got it right, I heard you mention about intention. And if you remember me telling you earlier, before you could think of something bad against yourself, you need to have these reasons. And I guess intentions are synonymous with reasons. Okay? So, if your intention is to commit something bad against yourself, then let me ask this time. Do you already consider that as bullying? Do you already consider that as bullying? For example, take myself, for example. Take my own experience, for example. I mentioned earlier that I attempted, I even thought of committing suicide for 3 times. Did I fall to that category that I already bullied myself? Yes. Why?
It's thinking bad thoughts about yourself.
Yes, thinking bad thoughts about myself. How about the intention? How do you justify my intention? What do you think is the reason why I thought of that? No, that's right. Because
You were also bullied by other people.
I was also bullied by myself. How by other people? So if that's the case, who is now the bully? Other people or myself? Other people. Other people. Okay, the person being bullied, we will answer that later. So let us now have the last step. Okay? 1 minute.
So, okay, good morning once again. So, according to what Bob said earlier, he said that he can't find self-bullying in the internet or everywhere. So, are you telling me that this is magic? I am not just making a name about it, but of course, researchers already proven that this self-bullying really exists. And this is not an So, if you want more information, you can search it in Google, in Yahoo, or in Safari. And it can also be there in the library if you want to just walk.
So I first check the library, okay? And check the materials there.
So, okay, for our body or a seed trying to get out of a fruit. Therefore, self-bullying can never be removed nor prevented, but it can only be controlled according to our own will. Because we people have emotions. And again, it is not the fault of our stars, but it's the fault of the person. That's all I think.
I'm sorry, I may have been mistaken about the internet, but I cannot be mistaken that it is not in the Republic Act. It is not in the law, the supreme law of the Philippines. Our last stand is that self-bullying doesn't exist. You are creating your own definition of the right term, absurd illusion. It is not in the act, it's the supreme law. It's not in the types of bullying. It's being insecure and you need more than a person to feel that. It's up to you if you'll shackle all those obscene things that they throw at you. You may be just too deep and you're overthinking. You need to accept help and move on. Bullying is an act of violence, and violence is where other persons beat you up. Simply beat you up. And that's it, it's the exact definition.
Thank you very much. Yes, I believe we have already heard enough from them. This time, let us ask our principal as to what she has to say about this activity. Okay?
So good morning, everybody. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate our eloquent speakers. I was really amazed at how you had done your research and that how you share or give your views to us. And also, I'd like to congratulate our audience for the very supportive and very active participation. They really listen to what we have shared. This activity is a good activity for all of you because it allows you to express your own ideas. And I was even happy because this beautiful lady over here was able to share and integrate some values with regards to loving yourself. Okay, so again, congratulations everyone, and thank you very much for this opportunity of inviting us here with Mom Jenny to witness the show of talents and speakership. So one day soon, I am very proud that we can have a good debater from this batch.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Wow. Okay. And as much as we would like to have more time for the discussion, we really can't do that because we're only given 1 hour. Okay. So perhaps it would be better if we would just have a follow-up activity on this, especially on your part. I want you to write a reflection. Yes. Okay. I want you to write a reflection which will be submitted tomorrow. Okay, that's going to be homework because you cannot do that afterwards, right? You still have your class. So write a critical reflection as to what have you learned from this activity. Okay? I don't care how lengthy would that be. Okay? What matters is that you pour out whatever you've learned. Okay? After all, it's a reflection. Another thing, who do you think deserves to win? Who do you think deserves to win? Okay. Actually, if I may just share my own personal point of view, but I don't consider it as a bias, because basically, I would agree to the notion that a person cannot be his own bully. Why? Because if you talk about the definition of bully, a bully is a person who never stops. Okay? Who never stops from inflicting harm or damage or emotional damage to anybody. Okay? And I believe you cannot do that thing against yourself. Okay? Because if that is the case, what happens to you? Okay? You're already adding injury or adding more damage to what is being injured. You are being bullied already. So why do you have to bully yourself? Okay? I guess the better way to describe that is that it's not really bullying. Rather, you are being hard on yourself. Okay? Right? And that is the key there, which is being emphasized by your classmate, that you really have to love yourself. Okay? Because a bully has to have this intention of causing harm, of inflicting damage. Okay? But if we talk about how the topic is being presented, can a person be his own bully? We have already defined the bullying. We already know what bullying is. Okay? How bullying is done. Okay? And how does a bully do it? And we also understand already what the person means. But take note of this. Can a person be his own bully? This is a model. And it entails ability. It entails capacity. And considering the people, considering the nature of man,